52 Traders, episode 123.
You probably see more truth on the chart than in a book.
Join Cam every week on the 52 Traders podcast or at 52traders.com to learn how to trade like the pros. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not investment, trading, or financial advice of any kind.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the 52 Traders podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we have Roman Bogomazov on the show. Now, Roman is an ex-Russian banker. Sounds pretty flash, doesn't it? Ex-Russian banker who now trades stock, options, and futures in the US. So he's moved to the US, trades it over there. He also teaches people how to trade cryptocurrencies, Forex, and in the show, we go deep into the method that he teaches, which is the Wyckoff Method. If you know what the Wyckoff Method is, we talk about that in the show, and Roman gives us an explanation as to what exactly it is for anyone that's unsure. Hearing it from this guy is probably one of the best places you can hear it from. He's one of the few people out there in the world who are an absolute master at this game. His website is jam-packed full of Wyckoff information. And we also talk about his story. It's a great story about how he sort of overcome, well, I suppose, that tipping point between being an unsuccessful trader and someone who flips it all around and is all of a sudden successful. So I wonder if you guys can replicate the same thing after listening to this. We go deep into one specific aspect of your trading that you should be doing and you're probably not. And we talk about how you can make that thing really good and suited to you. Okay, so I'm not going to ruin what it is. It's coming up very shortly in the show. Now, before I let you go, so if it's your first time here and you haven't heard any of these shows before, then jump back to the first 52. It's 52 Traders. The first 52 interviews are free. You can get access to all of them, download them onto your phone. If you do want to hear more than just the first 52, then it's only $4.97 to upgrade to the Pro membership. Today we're going to hear a preview of the interview with Roman. If you do want to hear the full thing, then jump on to 52traders.com/pro and you'll get access to not just this episode, but all the others in the catalog. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get started with Roman. All right, folks, so here we are back on 52 Traders. We've got Roman. Now, your name is hidden on the back of this thing, and it's a long name. It's Bogomazov. Is that right? Bogomazov?
Yes, that's very close.
Okay. Roman Bogomazov here from Wyckoff Analytics. Is that right? Analytics?
Yes, right? WyckoffAnalytics.com.
.com. Yeah, and look, you're a Wyckoff guy. You're based in San Francisco. How are things over there in the US? San Francisco's been in the mixer, really. Not itself, but in California. Have you got any connection to these wildfires that have been going on, or is it too far away?
Well, they are in Northern Bay Area, so we're literally 40, 60 minutes away from those. It's the whole community up north has been affected, and it's just such a big tragedy that we've had in that area. But it's just so great to see how all of the people are supporting that community. And I am going to go with my wife up north, to one of the festivals, and we're going to donate the money this Saturday. So, thank you for asking. It's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, it's been, and I say a couple of tragedies in terms of I watched on the TV again last night the follow-up to the Vegas shootings, and just sort of, put a bit more emphasis on, the emotional, I suppose, impact that it's had on everyone over there. It's just terrible that you guys had to go through so much over such a short period of time.
I totally agree with your assumption here. And, it's not just, from anybody who I hear. I mean, in my family, we're all affected. And I hear this from my friends, from my students who are here locally, and through the members of our community. It's really difficult emotionally to go through those type of things. So, again, thank you for asking, and thank you for caring.
Right, Roman, well, let's get on with some of these trading-related questions. So, first up, we first, I suppose, want to get that story at the beginning. How did you get into trading? What was the very first thing that triggered you off? And how did you get to where you are now?
Sure. Well, and before I start, I just wanted to thank you, Cam, for having me. That's number one. And I just want to say hi to all of the listeners. Thank you for listening to this interview. I'm originally from Russia, so my first introduction to trading was at one of the Russian banks back in my native town of Vladivostok in 1995. I have attended their currency course, which covered some of the Forex basics, and they also introduced some Elliott wave and Fibonacci concepts. The bank manager and his traders were showing us some of their live trades in the US dollar against the Japanese yen. They were trading a relatively small position size of 1 or 2 full lots, trying to collect 10 to 20 pips on a single trade. So it was very emotional for them, and pretty much they didn't know what they were doing. By the end of the course, one of their clients who signed up with them has lost an equivalent of a new car in just one overnight session. And I have not opened a trading account with them, but that kind of hooked me up on the idea of trading for a living, as I saw this as an opportunity to make money. So I'm still very much grateful to that experience. Later, I've migrated to the United States in 1996, and I almost instantly have opened a trading Forex account. I was using eSignal for my charting software, and I was trying to catch momentum moves without any understanding of the bias or a trend. I was very lucky with my first trade. It was a loss. And I was not even able to close the position right away because of the margin call. By late morning, when the trade was settled, I was so stressed and exhausted that the only thought that came to my mind was to withdraw from live trading and just to start educating myself about technical analysis and trading in general. This process of withdrawal that was associated with my emotional pain from trading losses is a very common flight response for beginners, which I've experienced back then, and I've repeated it several times throughout the first 5 years of my trading career. That emotional pain has always identified a problem with my trading and pushed me to find a solution. So pain sometimes is really good if you could act on this in the correct way. So I decided to educate myself on the subject. I was lucky again. In San Francisco, I've met Professor Henry O. Pruden of Golden Gate University. And Hank was teaching Wyckoff Method classes and was a program chair for Technical Market Analysis Graduate Certificate at Golden Gate. Hank has become not only my teacher, but a mentor until the last days of his life. He just passed away this August. It's a huge loss for the technical analysis and Wyckoff communities and to me personally. I took all his classes several times. All technical analysis classes that Golden Gate has at the moment, in that moment, and in the process, I have finished my graduate degree in finance. Later, I have studied the markets in Wyckoff Method extensively. I've studied teaching technical analysis, trading, and Wyckoff Method at Golden Gate University, and then later at wyckoffanalytics.com in 2010. And my trading has evolved into a style that I have now based on those studies, based on the experiences that I've had back then. So that's how I started.
And do you want to give us a quick overview of Wyckoff for the guys that have forgotten what it means and how it works?
Sure. So it's based on the idea, Wyckoff Method is based on the idea of the institutional presence. Big institutions are usually forced to behave in the markets in a specific way. They look for the places of high liquidity and of value. They also cannot move their portfolio that fast because of the high turnover ratio that they always try to avoid. and also because of tax considerations. So therefore, when they trade and invest big trends. And they're the biggest trend setters in the market. So what we want to do, Wyckoffans, what we want to do is to identify their actions and to follow their footsteps. Wyckoff Method gives us the tools and techniques to define institutional presence in a trading range, an area where all trends originate. The method allows to contextually interpret the price structure, define a potential future bias, time our entries as the price leaves a trading range. It also addresses a selection process inquiry as to what stocks and instruments could potentially outperform the market and peers on an absolute and relative basis. There are quite a few concepts that the method covers, and it probably, I could talk about this for a long time. I think the best way to learn about Wyckoff, either to read about it or just come to the classes like, the ones that we have at wyckoffanalytics.com, and just to study that. So that's kind of like in a nutshell, what the Wyckoff Method is about.
And so back in the day when you first started out, I mean, you mentioned you worked for a Russian bank. Did you now sort of look back and see any of these traits that were evident back then? All right, guys, there's the preview of this interview with Roman. Now, if you do want to listen to the full thing, then jump on to 52traders.com/pro and sign up as a pro member. You get access to this full interview as well as all the other interviews that I've done with traders and specialists in the area of trading. Guys, it's packed full of action. If you haven't signed up to the first 52 yet, sign up to those. Put them in your iPhone, your Android phone, whatever you listen to podcasts on. Listen to them one by one. There's 52 of them, and you'll get a feel for what this show's all about. Now, if you do want to jump on board and get everything, then it's $4.97. That's all it is. You're going to be able to download all of the episodes here, listen to them in a private feed on your phone, so you can listen to it like a normal podcast while you're out running, in your commute, at the gym, while you're trying to go to sleep. I don't know. You can listen to it while you're doing other stuff. That's the main benefit of podcasts, right? So, guys, jump on there, 52traders.com/pro. Get access to that. And next week we have, as I mentioned the week before, and I think I got my timings wrong, we have this trader from Hong Kong coming up. So stay tuned. Another great interview. So stay tuned for that, guys. Okay, until next time, catch you later.